Hello guys, today I will telling about code Java. Today's content is primitive data types, non-primitive data types, declaration, initialization and dynamic initialization. I will tell you one by one. You can see this contents. These are the today contents. Okay, I will show you one by one. Okay, number one. Before you telling primitive and non-primitive data types, first of all, what is data types, how it is works, and how it is performed. Okay, I will show you data types. A data type is an attribute of variable which tells the compiler or interpreter how the programmer intend to use the variable. It means a data type is a attribute of variables, attribute of variable, okay, which telling compiler or interpreter how the program is used to variable. Okay, this is meaning of this data type. Data type is a attribute of variable which telling compiler and how to use variables. Okay, next, it depends the operations that can be done on the data and what type of value can be stored in Java. It is telling that what operations is done and what data is used and what type of values are stored in Java. Okay, this is what I will tell you. The data types are divided into two groups. These data types are divided in two groups. Number one, primitive data types. Number two, non-primitive data types. What is primitive data types? Okay, this is a data type. Data types are two types. One is primitive data type and another one is non-primitive data types. Primitive types are Boolean and numeric classes. Keywords. It's a keywords. Okay, Boolean, numeric, and a non-primitive data types are strings, arrays, etc. Okay, in Boolean we can use Boolean type only. That means true or false. Okay, next, numeric means characters and integrals. Character means only char means variables only in single quote variables. This is called character. Okay, next, numeric means integral. Integers means numbers 0 to 0 to starting with 0 to unending. Okay, in this integers, byte, short, hint, long, these are used in primitive data types in integer. Okay, in floating point, that means of points. For example, in integer, for example, 22, this is a number. Okay, this is integer example, but floating type 22.50 and 32.60, these are examples for floating points. In floating points we have two types are used. One is float and one is double. These differences I will tell you later. Okay, what is byte, what is short, what is int, what is long, what is char, this how many bytes are used in this data types. Okay, I will show you. Okay, next, primitive data type. A primitive data type is a predefined by the program language. It is a predefined programming language. It's called primitive data types. The size and type of values are specified and it has no additional method. The size and type of values are specified in this primitive data type. Okay, no additional methods are occurred. Okay, non-primitive data types, these are non-defined programming languages, these data types are not actually defined by the programming language but are created by the programmer. This non-primitive data types is non-defined by the programming language, but we are this non-primitive data types is created by programmer programs. Okay, non it is a not programming language, but it creates programs. Okay, they are also called reference variables or object references, since they reference a memory location which stores the data. This references means the memory location which store the data. This is called primitive and non-primitive data type. I will show you. These are primitive data types. Primitive data types tell I will already telling before, but I will tell you once again. Primitive data type. Primitive data types are integers, floating pointers, characters, and booleans. In integers, byte, short, int, long. These are memory. These are primitive data types in used integers. Okay, and floating point numbers we used float double. Okay, in characters we use char. In boolean we use boolean. Okay, these are primitive data types. In primitive data type, byte, boolean in 1 byte memories. 1 byte means 8 bit. Okay, one byte and boolean use in programs that taken 1 byte only. Memory is taken 1 byte only. Okay, next short and char. These are two bytes, which means the memory taken in programs 2 bytes memory. Okay, allocated by 2 bytes memory. And int float are 4 bytes. Okay, these are float 4 bytes. Int floats are 4 bytes. In programs we use 4 bytes, that means of 32 bits used in RAM. Okay, next long int long double. These are 8 bytes. Okay, this is the example. Int a is called 9876, but we have int float 4 bytes. We have int a, int b. Okay, this is the int float and long double and short char byte boolean. These are what consumption of memory is allocated in these programs. Okay, this is mainly. Next, declaration. Declaration is a variable, means what kind of data it will store. It is declared for what type of data is stored in programs. Okay, program memory. Okay, next, variables display named storage locations. Variable display named store locations. Variable are used in programs, that means of that is the name of the storage location. Okay, whose values can be changed during the execution of programs. These values are changed during execution. Before using execution, these are changing these values. Okay, it is the basic unit of storage in Java. It is a basic unit. Okay, for storage purpose. Okay, next, syntax. What is the declaration of syntax? This is the syntax. Type variable name. This is the example. Variable int is a type, data type. That means a primitive data type. Int is a primitive data. A is a variable. This is the syntax. Type variable int a. Next, this is another example. Type variable name. These are three variables names, but type is only one. This is int, float, byte, etc and etc. Whatever you use, primitive data types. Okay, float age area. We can use float age and areas are declared in these programs. Okay. Next, initialization. Initialization means assigning a value to variable. Okay. Actual initialization. For example, width is a variable name, but in this weight we can use 10 is a number value. This is a value. In variables we have values are added, that means of that is initialization. Okay. In years age is 26.5. In before case you can see what happened. It only int a. In this type we cannot use values. Okay, cannot declare it in these values. Okay, but in initialization we have with 10, that means of width is a variable and 10 is a value. In variable we have to value is initialization. This is called initialization. Okay. Next, initialization of variables. Okay. In Java you can assign values to variables in two ways. One is static, another one is dynamic. Static, this means that the memory is determined by variables. Static means it not change the value. Okay, this is when the program starts. Okay, for example, int a is equal to 10 and c char c is equal to or. These are the, this is not changed for variable names. This is called static comment. Okay. In dynamic initialization, the variables is initialized only during runtime. It only initialization for runtime only. Runtime only. Okay. The dynamic means Java can declare variable anywhere in the program. Anywhere you can declare a variable. Okay, because when the statement is executed the memory is assigned to them. Sorry, why? Because when the statement is executed the memory is assigned to them. Okay, this is the dynamic initialization. That means of public static void main. We can use float a is equal to 5.8, float b. In this program float a is equal to 5.8. This is initialization. Okay, these are initialization, but this float c is equal to a by b. This is called dynamic initialization. Okay, that means of float c is equal to a by b. That means of it cannot value assigned and it can perform an operation. This is a by, that means of 5.8 by 3.3. Okay, this is called dynamic initialization. Okay, thank you.